Hi, it's Tammy here. I have been planning for some time to do a video about my word of the year, and more about that in just a minute. But this year so far has thrown me off a little bit. We usually have a freeze that shuts everything down here in Dallas, usually the first or second week in February. This year it came early. We took care of everything that needed to be taken care of after everything shut down and froze, and I am back to a place where I want to make some content. That said, it's just not a video day today. Do you ever have one of those days where it's just like, yeah, I will talk to people all day long, but I am under an electric blanket and I've got the sweatpants happening. It is 60 something degrees outside right now. So, yeah, it's just one of those days when video is not going to happen. I also like audio a lot more, just as a medium, but also I feel a lot more comfortable editing audio. The videos that I put up, it's just whatever happens there. But with audio, I feel like I can do a little bit better job of cleaning things up and making it presentable. So let's get back to my word of the year. For a while now, I have chosen a word of the year to sort of guide me toward whatever goals it supported. I'll say it that way. Yeah. My word of the year has been something that I wanted to support my goals. It doesn't always happen that they align. And the case last year, my word was open because I wanted to be open to opportunities and open to possibilities. And I just threw everything a little too wide open and became unfocused, I guess is a good word. So this year, I wanted to really think about what my goals are, not just this year, but, the whole 5-10 years down the road thing, and consider what that means and how to distill that down into one word. Really, what I was looking for was elegant, in the sense not of clothing. I mean, let's go back to the beginning of this and admit that I wear sweatpants. I live in Crocs. I am not somebody who's really interested in clothing. So when I say elegant, it's not in the terms of clothes or even my house. It is computer science. I worked as a programmer for about a decade. And so I'm going to really oversimplify this when I explain it. But the idea of taking an elegant approach to my year really appealed to me, because what does elegant mean? If an approach is elegant, if something is elegant, it is simple. There's not a whole lot of excess complexity. Usually when I'm thinking about writing elegant code, one function does one thing. The code within it can do something very complex, but what happens around the code, again, I'm just way oversimplifying this for the computer science folks in the crowd. I don't want to pass a lot of values to a function and then have it return a bunch of different things depending on the whatever it is I'm seeking. I wanted to take that elegant approach where if I'm writing a function, I'm handing it a very discrete set of possible values. And then what I expect out of the function is going to be something that is within that sort of discrete set of possible outcomes, right? Elegant. How does that have anything to do with writing? I have really pared back my goals as a writer. I have two main goals. One, I think I've been more successful at because I've been at it longer. The first one is poetry, of course. My third book came out last year. I have been slogging away at what I hope will be my fourth book, Parallax. I've been working on that since 2020. It's basically looking at an underlying question: how close, how intimate will we allow ourselves to be with a monument that is made from artificial intelligence, or made by artificial intelligence, I should say. And I mean intimate in the sense of closeness, like mental, emotional closeness. It has nothing to do with romantic closeness. So yeah, again, here I am explaining terms because that's what I do, because I'm a writer. So I'm hoping to finish that this year. I started this in 2020, and then I wrote a whole other book. I wrote Doubt and Circuitry while I was trying to finish up Parallax. So, yeah, I need to focus on finishing Parallax before I jump into something else, because I've already started drafting poems for Strange Matter, which is my next collection after Parallax, but elegant. I am finishing one thing at a time. The other thing that I want to do is really stay in my lane with mysteries. I had thought about writing a sort of literary mystery for a while. I outlined it. I started on a draft. It just wasn't going anywhere. I read cozy mysteries. I love writing cozy mysteries. And you know what? I think thinking that I needed to have a literary mystery out there was just probably pride. I don't know. Thinking about what other people would expect from me. Yeah, I'm a literary writer in the sense that I write poetry. But you know what? I still love cozy mysteries. So I'm going to stay in my lane. And the mysteries that I write are going to be cozy mysteries. The fiction that I write will be cozy mystery because I had some other projects in the works that were not in that genre. And I am going to take an elegant approach to my fiction writing this year and stay in my lane with cozy mysteries. How else am I going to apply this word elegant? Really, it's just going to be more maintaining focus on one project at a time. I was fortunate enough in 2022 and 2023 to have Line Break, which was a poetry program, part of the Radio Angela block on WBCQ. I had to go on hiatus for a couple of reasons. I won't go into that right now, but part of it was health issues. Sometimes you just don't have enough spoons to do everything you want to do because you still got to work, right? Yeah. It can't all be fun. So I knew I wasn't going to create content this year, but I still wanted to do something around radio. So I will be helping with the Shortwave Archive project, and I'm going to talk about what I do want to come back to because I do want to come back to creating content for shortwave radio. I just don't foresee that happening this year. Ultimately, I think what happened with me is that I realized that I need a team. And in some sense, I did have other people coming in because I had poets who come on the show in a sort of metaphorical way. They sent me files and I edited everything together. And I'm so grateful for all the poets who participated. But I think I will definitely need help on the production end when I am not able to have something every week, have a block of time every week that I can just devote to that. So 2025, I will bring some of that back, I hope, but I'm going to need help. The other thing that I wanted to talk about as far as elegance goes is kind of bringing that to the writing itself. One of the things that I love about reading poetry is when poetry feels simple, but then you're left at the end looking at this grand, complex space that has been opened up by the poem, right? So it leaves you with a good question to think about, or, a new way of looking through a lens that the poem presents. And I think as I'm writing the poems that I'm working on now, there are a lot of threads that I'm bringing together. I have done interviews. I have read a lot. I am bringing in sort of some of my own personal experiences and personal thoughts on artificial intelligence into this collection, Parallax. And I'm part of the reason that I'm stalled out on it is because I am trying to do too many things at once. So elegance for me in this collection will be about how do I focus on one thing at a time and not try to make the collection too big, too much, while still asking the questions that I want to ask about it. The other piece of this elegant question in my writing is the cozy mysteries. Right now, I'm trying to draft. I will use the word draft. I'm not going to be able to complete, but draft 4 books this year. Wow, that's a lot. I just said that aloud. I'm going to try to draft 4 cozy mystery novels this year. And I knew if I was going to do that, I would have to make my goals clear and simple and well-defined. And the way that I'm doing that is, and I'm staring at it now, if this was a video, I would just totally hold this page up. But I figured out I can write about 1,500 words a day pretty easily before my brain just quits. So I calculated it. If I wrote 1,500 words a day for 200 days over the span of the year, then that would give me roughly 4 novels. So I broke that up even further. So quarter 1, January through March, I have my page. This is the page that I'm talking about. I have a table with columns for the day, 1 through 50. I write the date and the word count. And that has been so motivating for me. I am not somebody who gets motivated by games or stickers. No, I love that. I love seeing when writer friends and friends who do anything that is hard, is challenging, that they need that motivation, and they share whatever it is that motivates them. You know, the games, the stickers, the stamps, whatever it is. Yeah, it's great. I love it. It doesn't work for me though. What apparently is working for me is just writing it down, keeping track of it. And it's not even looking at the progress that I have made so far. It's just, okay, I've done 20 days in January of over 1,500 words. There were several days in there that I wrote, like 500 words, so I didn't chart that. But yeah, it's just lovely to have that sitting in front of me. And that's, again, kind of simplifying things to make it easier for me to get where I need to go. So anyway, that's me. That's elegant. That's what I hope is going to be my elegant year as a writer. My elegant year thinking about, radio, fun stuff. I am going to start studying for the amateur extra exam. I don't think I'm going to be able to take the exam this year just because, I'm not going to be able to schedule everything in that I want to do because summer into fall are probably going to be a little bit busier than my spring in a good way. It's all good stuff. Yeah, I think sometimes when I'm really stressed out, I'm in my 40s and I look at the problems that I'm stressing out about and I think, you know what? 20-something me would love to have these problems. So that's just me putting things into perspective. So yeah, anyway. But I am going to start studying whenever the new guide comes out. So if anybody else is studying for their extra exam, once the questions roll over, let me know. We can cheer each other on. So again, I say this over and over again. If you have thoughts on any of this, let me know. Have you tried to bring more elegance into your life in the sense of making things simpler and having systems and making things easier on yourself that way? I'd love to hear about that. Also, hey, if you have a word of the year yourself, whether you've had words of the year for a long time or you're just trying it for this year, let me know. Put it down in the comments here. And I put a link to this video, audio, whatever this is. I'm talking into my microphone, whatever this is. If you came from my Cozy News Mystery newsletter, hi, hello. This is more of what I want to do this year, just to talk a little bit about what I'm working on and also kind of everything else around my life. As a reader, I'm always interested in what other authors bring into their work from their life, what they're interested in. I think it's one of the nice things about Cozy Mysteries is you can probably get a good sense of what an author is interested in because maybe they're bringing knitting in or crafts or some profession in. And it's always interesting to see how they can intermesh that outside interest into the mystery, into their characters. I think that's one of the things that really appeals to me about the genre. I am going to wrap this up and say thank you for watching or listening or, just kind of being in the same room metaphorically as I'm hashing out some of these ideas. As always, thank you for listening and in this case, watching. And if you want to leave a comment below, I'd love to hear your ideas, or you can send me an email, tammy@tammydwalker.com, and I will leave a link to that in the description. Okay, well, happy February.